My name's Letha Hadady, and I'm trained in acupuncture, and I've studied Asian herbs in China and in India, and I've taken that tradition, that karma has always pulled me to the East. Those ancient cultures venerate longevity, wisdom, and health. And that's why some of our best tonics come from Asian medicine. For example, ginseng. You might know ginseng because you can find it in your health food store. 25 years ago, you might not have found it quite so easy. This is Chinese ginseng. You know, like you are a member of your family and every sister and brother has a different first name. They're the same family, but they're all different. This ginseng is warming, stimulating. It raises your blood pressure if you need it. It speeds your metabolism if you need it. This one, another ginseng, is American ginseng or white ginseng. Panax ginseng and Ginseng quinquefolium. This one is moistening, cooling. It's very good for people with diabetes because it makes them feel less thirsty. This one, probably you don't know it. It's Tienchi ginseng or sanchi. Looks like a little Japanese sculpture. It's a heart tonic. It reduces your cholesterol and strengthens your blood vessels and protects your heart against heart trouble. You can very easily use it in its powdered form. Just add the powder to water or to soup and you have a tonic, a wonderful tonic. If you go to your health food store, you're going to be able to find combinations of ginsengs. You might find a combination that has Chinese and American and Siberian all together, and this is very good. It's a balanced formula that will help you in many ways. I have found in my teaching and in my writing that what we need most as big city dwellers, as Americans, as modern people, are ways to reduce stress. And that's why we can benefit from the adaptogens. The adaptogens like these ginsengs that help us to adapt to stress. If it's too hot outside or too cold outside, they help us to stay stronger and more balanced. I've written some books. The first one was Asian Health Secrets, which became a standard for complementary and alternative medicine, and I've used it to teach doctors and nurses to introduce them to the wonders of Asian herbs. You probably like mushrooms and you might cook them like shiitake or enoki or some of the others. But this one is a mushroom you don't know. This one is Reishi. In Chinatown, it's LINGZHT. And you can slice it and cook it in your crock pot for 3 hours, and you have a health tonic that protects you against cancer, heart trouble, inflammatory arthritis. It's not tasty, and it's hard like a rock, and it's not tasty like your shiitake, but it's a medicine. It's a mild flavor, and you can sweeten it by adding a dried fig. If you want to find this, you can find it online, and I have a website, AsianHealthSecrets.com, that has many recipes and lots of health information, has videos and articles, and my books too. So you can order this and ask for the Latin name, GANODERMA LUCIDIDUM. This qualifies as a real wonder drug. Yunnan Baiyao, made in Yunnan, China. It comes in capsules. This is the little bottle of powder. This is what you take before surgery so that you heal very quickly. This is what you take when you cut yourself. It's used for gunshot wounds in China. The Chinese army uses this. This stops hemorrhaging. It's a wonderful combination of various kinds of ginseng. Remember that little ginseng I showed you, the Tienchi ginseng? That's in here. Also myrrh and a couple of herbs that strengthen the blood vessels and bring the blood back to where it should be. So it resolves your bruises, your swelling, and your pain. Now we're going to go and look at some other fungi. Fungi are the dinosaurs in the plant world. They've been here since the beginning of time, and they protect your health, your vitality, and your beauty. Fungi are a special category of mushrooms. They don't have that serrated underneath. They're smooth usually, and sometimes they grow out of trees. This one, for example, is called a tree ear or cloud ear because it grows right out of a tree like a shelf. In Latin, it's called Auricularia. Now, the interesting thing about this is you open this and there are 10 little boxes. You take this little box and you put the contents, which looks like a little brick, into hot water, and the mushrooms open up, and they're beautiful. They're like orchids that open up. And then you cut some of this, take one and cut some of this into boiling water and add pasta or add oatmeal. This is a blood thinner. It works like the drug Coumadin, but without the side effects. So it thins the blood, and it strengthens the integrity of the blood vessels too. So this is for people with high cholesterol, with a fat diet. And if you like Chinese food, you've already eaten this. It's in hot and sour soup. It's that black, crinkly looking paper in hot and sour soup. This is called sea cucumber, but it's actually not a cucumber at all. It's a sea creature, and it swims around in the shallow waters between Japan and China. And it's also a nutritive tonic. It's high in antioxidants and minerals. It's used as a moistening tonic for people with chronic arthritis. Now, I'm showing you this because this is something I'm sure never seen, and you might find it in a Chinese restaurant. So when you order it, it's not going to look like this. It's going to look more like a jello because it's soaked and cooked for several days. And when you take it, you'll feel less inflammation and less swelling in your joints. Oh, thank you. These are both Pu'er tea, and Pu'er is a very healing tea from Yunnan province in China. This traditionally is made into these cakes like this. This is the green and this is the red. This one is raw and this one is already cooked. Now, I don't mean that you can only drink one of them because you can drink either one, but this one, the green Pu'er, is collected and aged, and some of the Pu'er that you find that's green, the Shen Pu'er, is 50 years old or 100 years old, and people are trading in this and investing in this as they would a wine, and it could cost anywhere from thousands of yuan to several hundred yuan, depending on the market price. Now, the interesting thing about Pu'er, it's a red tea. It's not like a green tea or a black tea. It's sort of in the middle. It's fermented, which means that it's like your probiotic. It's like your acidophilus or your yogurt. It's digestive. And also the unusual thing about Pu'er is that it is a source of statins. And statins are drugs that are taken to protect the heart against heart trouble and stroke. So this is a tea that will naturally give you statins, will naturally improve digestion, will improve weight loss and energy. It's a health tonic. Another great tea is oolong tea. And oolong tea, unlike this Pu'er started during the Han Dynasty, about 206 BC. Tea Kuan Yin or oolong tea started a little later in the Ming Dynasty, about 15th century. So they have a different flavor, they have a different quality. There's a stronger caffeine feeling to Tea Kuan Yin or to oolong tea. It's usually smoked in charcoal, so it has a wonderful bracing flavor. Now, the good thing about tea is that all teas, no matter whether it's white tea, green tea, black tea, red tea, they all come from Camellia sinensis, which is the tea leaf, and they're a rich source of antioxidants, polyphenols, and L-thiazine, which means they protect your health, your vitality, your digestion, and your mood. During the 1980s and 90s, I traveled every year to China or India or Thailand or Ladakh or Tibet, and I wanted to see Asian health practices in their home, and I learned a great deal. I saw that where all the stops were out, the kind of treatments that they gave had sometimes miraculous results. For example, acupuncture in Chinese hospitals was used to treat blindness, paralysis, polio, stroke, schizophrenia, and it was successful. The treatments were successful because they were part of a whole system. People could come for medicine, and they could come several times a week. It cost very little. They got acupuncture. They had herbs that were recommended particularly for them, strictly for them. Certainly the baby boomer population, I think, is the most enthusiastic because they want alternatives to drugs and surgery. They want ways to maintain health and prevent illness instead of wait for the catastrophe. So I think they are the most enthusiastic group, and they are the people with money and the people with security enough and curiosity enough and interest enough to go beyond the smaller bounds of their neighborhood.
Cái gài của ấy nữa mà. Ủa rồi. 180 here.
So I bought some bitter melon. It's for my neighbor who has diabetes. And she also wants to lose some weight, so that's what this is good for. It's very bitter flavored. You can steam it or stir fry it with a little bit of garlic. It's delicious. You can add it to meat dishes, you can add it to soup. It lowers your blood sugar, regulates your pancreas so that it's anti-inflammatory for a lot of inflammatory pain and problems in the body, and useful in many, many ways. Do you have poor digestion? You have discomfort? Slow digestion? Slice some ginger into your tea. Add a little honey. It'll protect you against colds and flu this winter too. This is another fungi called Tremella vulgaris. And it's beautiful. It looks like a big snowflake. When you cook this, you soak it in water for about 20 minutes, and then you can sort of shake it out. And if it has a tough area in the back of it, you cut that off with a knife. And then you steam it for about 15 minutes. It's very mild flavored, no taste at all. You can use it instead of rice. It looks very pretty. And the medicinal part of this is that it's cooling for the lungs. So this is an excellent food for people you know who smoke or who have chronic thirst. This is another fungi. It's black on the one side and gray on the other side. Looks like crinkly paper. It also reduces cholesterol. When you're cooking these, a good way to cook them is slowly in a crock pot, in a slow cooker. You can add rice, or you can even add soybeans to that one and cook it for a long time, 10 hours or so, and it's all very soft. And the soybeans will give you energy, will give you calcium and protein, and this fungi, the black and gray fungi, will reduce your cholesterol. There are some hidden secrets yet in Chinatown because it's a different culture. It's a culture that values everything as herbal medicine. Plants, animals, rocks, shells, seaweeds, it's all medicine because they all affect our qi, our vitality. Now in this store on Bowery, I got an herb called Shen. There it is in Chinese. There it is in Latin, Radex salvia mitariza. And it's Chinese salvia or Chinese red sage. And it's a plant. You can cook this with tea, you can cook it with soup. It's slightly bitter. It's a heart tonic. It helps regulate the heart rhythm. It strengthens the heart because it would work like one of the drugs that you would take to normalize the heartbeat and to reduce cholesterol and to strengthen the heart muscle. So this is a fine, high quality heart tonic that you can have every day in your soup or your tea. And if you don't feel like cooking, then you can get the pill, which is called Shen 1 or Shen pill. Shen. Another thing I got was a dried snake. In China, they do tons of business in snakes. Tons, literally. They are used for rheumatism, they're used for arthritis, they help reduce pain. The benefit of the snake is the Chinese say that the pain that travels through your body like the wind, in other words, nerve pain, is like a snake. And so to correct that, to ground the wind, to quiet nerve pain, they will eat snake. They will eat the snake as a meal, or they will put it in wine. You can take a piece of this and cook it with your chicken soup so that you can have a snaky chicken soup and improve your rheumatism during the winter months. What I do, I spent the summer enjoying this, taking a piece that's about 3 inches long and putting it into my gin and making a pretty wild martini. How do we treat obesity in Chinese medicine? Tea, for one thing, inhibits our absorption of fat in the digestive tract. So you can eat the fat that you want, some of it, the healthy fats like nuts and fish, and you don't absorb the unhealthy fats like red meat and cheese quite so readily if you have tea. Certain herbs that reduce sweet craving and diabetes coming from India, also very, very useful. Gemma sylvestra. Gemma is a leaf that grows in India. Sometimes Indian people have the potted plant outside their door and they chew on the leaf. It reduces the sweet craving and supports the pancreas so that there is less of a chance of diabetes. Rhodiola is very interesting. It's in the ginseng family. It grows throughout Asia, but also in Russian Georgia. I used to say Russian Georgia, now we just say Georgia. And it is an adaptogen and a heart tonic. In Chinatown, it's called Hongjingtian, and the Chinese make a liqueur out of it by putting it into wine or into liquor, and they have it to warm them and to energize them and to get their heart going more regular and stronger during the colder months. So rhodiola they've done a lot of research on rhodiola as well, Western research. And aside from being a heart tonic and an adaptogen, it's said that it increases intelligence and memory. Now, this might be just because there's better circulation to the brain. Maybe there's an energetic reason, not a biochemical reason. But in any case, it's a very valuable tonic that many people can have, and it's part of my herbal liqueurs at home. My next book that's coming out is going to be in 2012, and it's called Naturally Pain-Free. And I decided to write about pain remedies that are foods and are herbs and treatments, body treatments, because the painkillers and the antidepressants and the anti-anxiety drugs are the most abused drugs in our culture, and they cause death many times. So there are many natural treatments for pain that ease pain, that nerve pain or injury, that are safe and easily available. I also in the book talk about laser acupuncture and 10 stimulators and stem cells, because this is the future of medicine, even the future of Asian medicine, because a lot of that research is going on in Asia. So when you use your own blood factors, your own platelets, your own stem cells, the body can regenerate itself. It is a modern approach to ancient medicine, to an ancient view of the body.